The Jared Dillian Show.
I'm Jared Dillian. This is The Jared Dillian Show. Thanks for joining us on Monday, Labor Day. We're going to be talking about what to do if you've screwed up royally. And I'm sure some people are in that situation. If you want to call to talk about your money, please call 844-305-7800. That's 844-305-7800. This is The Jared Dillian Show. You can also go to jareddillianmoney.com. That's my website, where there's a whole bunch of stuff you can check out. Keep an eye on that website because I'll announce it when it happens, but something cool is going to happen. And you can also follow me on Twitter at DailyDirtNet. I understand that a lot of people sometimes feel trapped by their financial situation and that there's no way out. And they can't get ahead. Lots of times this happens when, the bills are piling up, and no matter how much money you make, it just can't seem to catch up. You can't seem to save any money. You can't seem to pay down debt. And you're just, sort of on the treadmill, and it's not working out. So I think, philosophically speaking, I think sometimes when people feel trapped like this, well, number one, it makes them very unhappy. And number two, they sort of can't see the light. They can't see that there are other opportunities. And, my solution usually to these situations is austerity, is to just spend less money and save and pay down debt. And, we talk about this blah, 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 blah all the time. The other thing that I don't talk about as much is that there is door number 3. And door number 3 is you make more money. And people don't usually look through that door. And also, I'm going to say that a lot of personal finance experts out there don't talk about that. They don't talk about door number 3 at all. They don't talk about, increasing the revenue side. They talk about cutting the expense side, but they don't talk about increasing the revenue side. And, I kind of prepared to talk about austerity, but I don't feel like talking about that right now because we've been talking about debt this whole show and stuff like that, and it's getting a bit tedious. But one solution to if you can't get ahead is to think about getting another job, and reinventing yourself. And the whole concept of reinventing yourself is super interesting. Okay, I'm 45 years old. I'm a very different person at age 45 than I was at age 34, than I was at age 22. I've gone through several incarnations. I'm literally I'm a chameleon. I reinvent myself all the time. When I was 22 years old, I was a grunt. I was a military guy, oorah, just being a meathead. That's kind of where I was in life. And then I was a Wall Street guy, and I was on Wall Street as a trader. And, that whole ethos is totally different, for sure, than being a military guy and, wearing suits every day and all that stuff. And now I'm sort of a, financial help you guy. I don't know. I write newsletters, and basically I help people make money. That's what I do for a living. And, what the super interesting thing is about writing newsletters and doing radio stuff and stuff like that. I got a decent amount of money. It's a fair amount. But I'm definitely not as rich as some of the people that I'm helping out, which is super interesting. And look, in my day job, in my other business, where I write newsletters that go to professional investors, I'm writing for billionaires. There's billionaires on my list for sure, and there have been quite a few over the years, and guys with tens of millions or hundreds of millions. There's just a lot of very wealthy people, and one of the interesting things is that I seem to be able to help people make money. I'm probably better at helping people do it than doing it myself. But I'm really, really good at helping other people do it. And for some reason, I can provide really, really good advice. And I take a lot of pride in that. So that's kind of what I do. But anyway, getting back to the subject. So, yeah, I've reinvented myself a bunch of times. And maybe I'll do it again, The example I like to use is, teachers are grossly underpaid in most parts of the country. In some parts of the country, they're actually adequately paid. New Jersey, Connecticut in particular. I mean, you have, grade school teachers who are making $80,000-$90,000 a year. I would say they're adequately paid. But, in a state like South Carolina, they're grossly underpaid. And, it's not even what I would call like a living wage. I mean, it's really nothing. So, somebody in that position is never, I don't care how good they invest. I don't care how smart they are. They are just never going to get into a position where they have enough saved for retirement so that they can retire comfortably. They just don't make enough money. It's not possible. It's just not possible. So, I'm sympathetic to that. But if you're in that position, door number one is, I'm a teacher. I help children. This is, I make this amount of money, and, that's the end of the story. And door number two is, well, maybe I could do something else. And, I understand that this is what, I care about this profession and this is what I do. But if the financial situation is really dire, this is exigent circumstances. You need to think about doing something else and making more money and growing the revenue side. And I got to tell you, I never see people make that leap. I don't. And the reason people don't do it is because their whole identity is wrapped up in what they're doing currently. That's how they define themselves. And it's not just teachers, but I'll just use teachers as an example. But you'll say, I am a teacher. This is who I am. And, the idea that you would just totally blow up your life, walk away from the job, walk away from years of doing this and do something completely different, wear different clothes, act different. Like that's a lot. That's a lot, And that's, I think that's why, the personal finance quote unquote experts don't really advocate that, because it is hard. It's so hard to do. If you look, all the people I was in the Coast Guard with, hilarious. I can't contain myself. It's so funny. These guys literally, like, their fashion sense is like stuck in 1994. Like, I saw a picture of them the other day. There were 3 guys that I went to class with, and they all had like dad hats. Okay, like the curled brim hats, the dad hats, and they were wearing like like the long sleeve t-shirt underneath the short sleeve t-shirt. I just wanted to hand him a bottle of Heineken, like just gonna go like pregame for a Nirvana concert out in the parking lot or something like that. Like this is, and literally I'm like, that is not who I am. That is absolutely not who I am. I've changed. I've changed and they haven't changed. They're the same people, So this is we're talking about like really existential stuff here. This is bigger than money. This is like, if you want to get out of the hole, it's the only thing you have to change about your life is everything. The only thing you have to change about your life is everything. If you want to do this, look, like we can talk about stuff like, how to clip coupons and how to save $1 here or there, but that doesn't really move the needle. It doesn't move the needle. You gotta think big. I do like to think big. I'm Jared Dillian. This is the Jared Dillian Show.
The Jared Dillian Show.